We're doing a presentation over hawksbill sea turtles. It's going to be by me, Myra Trevino, Ashley, and Manny. First, we're going to talk about the taxonomy. So I apologize in advance because I'm probably not going to say all of these names correctly. So we're in the kingdom Animalia, the phylum Chordata, the class Reptilia, the order Testudines, the family Chelonidae, the genus, and our genus and species is going to be Eretomycetes imbricata. The hawksbill sea turtle is closely related to the green sea turtle and the flatback sea turtle, as you can see in the phylogenetic tree. The red arrow is going to be pointing directly to the hawksbill sea turtle. To the life cycle, the hawksbill sea turtles live an average of 30 to 50 years, which sounds like a lot, but there's actually other sea turtles and other marine animals that can actually live up to 100 years, so it's actually not that long in comparison to other marine creatures. And they take about 4 years or more to mature. This is dependent upon the location that they're in. In hotter climates, they actually mature faster, so around 4 years in average. They live in solidarity until mating, so they live by themselves. It's actually said that if you see a group of turtles together, they probably have no relation or really actually know each other, so not like turtle friends. They are going to mate every 2 to 3 years in shallow waters. And the picture at the bottom is just going to show the generalized life cycle with the nesting, the hatching, and then them maturing, and then them going back to nesting. So next we're going to talk about the actual nesting. The nesting will take place between the summer and the late autumn. They lay an average of 160 eggs per nesting, which is number only done 2 to 3 times a year. And their incubation time is approximately 60 days. Sometimes it's 40 to 60. It's also dependent upon the temperature. And with it taking place between the summer and late autumn, it has also been seen to take place all year round, depending on the location and the climate again. Once again, like I said, they nest 2 to 4 times per nesting season, so there's a lot of baby turtles that are being born in this season. And the temperature during incubation, like with most reptiles, determines the sex for a male or for a female. And they've actually made progress in making their nest compared to other sea turtles. So most sea turtles actually just kind of dig the nest in the sand, but hawksbill sea turtles have been found to recently get vegetation and sticks and different kind of things to kind of hide their nest better, so it's not found and easy for other creatures to prey on. So after nesting is going to be the most dangerous time for the sea turtles. It takes them a lot of days to actually reach the ocean, and they usually only go out at night, so there's not as many predators. So 4 to 6 nights on average is how long it takes them to actually get to the ocean. And crabs and gulls are going to lay on the turtles, and so a lot of them actually aren't going to make it to the sea. So between the time that they reach the sea and they come back for mating are called the lost years. That's going to be kind of a time when they're going to spend in the shallow water among seaweed and other things until they're ready to move out into the open waters. And this time, like I said, it's called the lost years because we're not exactly sure how long it is or how long they're kind of doing their own thing.
Hawksbill sea turtles are generally found in warmer climates, more around tropical places. They are found in the Indiana, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans, along with the Caribbean Sea. In the United States, most of them are found around the Gulf of Mexico, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is because of warmer waters, and there's a lot of coral reef down there, which is their main distribution area, where they like to migrate to. But for some reason, they are not found in the Mediterranean Sea, probably because it's a little too cold for them. As I said before, they enjoy the warmer parts of it for more food, more fish, and an easier time to find their nesting and mating opportunities. Migration for the hawksbill sea turtles are a little bit tricky since they tend to migrate very long distances, on average about 125 miles between nesting areas and foraging areas, the areas between where they lay their eggs and where they get food and mate and do everything else. It's been one record by a female hawksbill sea turtle was recorded her traveling 1,160 miles from the U.S. Virgin Islands to the Mosquito Cays in Nicaragua. Because of this, the wide range of migration that they do, it's hard to track all of them and to predict exactly where they're going to go to nest or they're going to go to forage. The general consensus is that they go somewhere for warm tropic areas to migrate.
So we know what hawksbill sea turtles are and where they live, but what do they look like? So right here on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see a juvenile hawksbill sea turtle, and you'll notice that they're heart-shaped. So as they get older, they elongate and obviously get bigger. But they also change color. So on the right side, you see an adult hawksbill sea turtle, and it has that beautiful tortoiseshell coloration that is so coveted by poachers and collectors alike. So the characteristics that kind of define what a hawksbill sea turtle is would be these serrated edges on the carapace. They will also have large claws on their front flippers, so 2 of them on each side. They have 2 pairs of prefrontal scales, making 4 in total. They also have overlapping scutes, so they don't fit together like a puzzle like some other turtles do. They overlap each other. And their most defining characteristic is that hawk-like mouth, that long beak. And they use that to get in between corals and grab the sponges that they consume. So why are they important? Well, sea turtles, these hawksbill sea turtles, are considered reef keepers. They eat those soft sponges that grow in between corals that can potentially overcrowd and decrease your biodiversity on a reef. They are also being found to nest in estuary areas. So mangrove forests are great areas for these turtles where they can find the vegetation to pull over their nests. And it's nice soft sand. But there are some species of sponges that also grow on mangrove roots. So they kind of keep up these areas that provide nurseries and just biologically diverse areas. So what would the consequences of sea turtle disappearances be? We would have no corals and our estuaries would suffer as well. So there is definitely some action necessary.
Hi, this is Manny again. Right now we're going to talk about the Saving Turtles Initiative. In 1970, the hawksbill turtle was listed under the Endangered Species Act. It is difficult to save these creatures because their migration patterns vary seasonally, and since they migrate so far and in between different countries, nations, and oceans, the efforts of one country to save the hawksbill turtle can be negated by the efforts, or the non-efforts of another countries to not save them. So there's only so much that we can do. Thankfully, the United States is a country that has implemented systems to save them. For the United States, the NOAA and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service work together to protect these turtles. How, you may ask? Well, we do it by modifying our practices, which includes modifying our gear so that they aren't caught as much in the gear that we use to fish, and the turtles that we do catch as bycatches, we tend to release them back into the ocean. Another thing is we have established something called critical habitats for them, where when they go, it's their safe environment to be free and live and not be under constant threat of being fished out or hunted or anything to endanger them any further. Because the hawksbill turtles, sea turtles, are a tropical marine animal, they enjoy reefs, which is one of their main homes. The problem is, due to the recent climate change that's happening in our country, around the world per se, the bleaching events that are happening in the coral reefs are killing them off. If you kill off the home of the sea turtles, where are they going to go? We need to be able to do more to combat climate change in order to save the sea turtles. That is probably one of the main things we can do to save these animals. Because without a home, where are they going to live? Where are they going to reproduce? Where are their children going to grow up so they can further develop the species? So that's one of the main things we can do to help save them. This right here is our works cited page. that has all of the areas where we got our work. And this will conclude the end of our project. And from all of us, we just want to say thank you for listening and hopefully paying attention.